Welcome to Lily's Viking adventure. Today, we journey back over 1,000 years to the heroic age of the Geats and Danes, as we present a complete reading of the legendary poem Beowulf. This timeless tale of courage, loyalty, and epic battles has inspired countless generations, and now it's your turn to experience its power. The following will be a summarized version of this 3,000-line epic poem. Sources will be provided in the description if you feel moved to read it in its entirety, and it is available online for free. So grab your mead, settle by the fire, and let's dive into this ancient masterpiece together. If you have a minute, please hug the like button to help us with the algorithm. Beowulf. Complete poem summarized. Lines 1 to 300. Scyld and the founding of the Danes. So, the Spear Danes in days gone by, and the kings who ruled them had courage and greatness. We have heard of those princes' heroic campaigns. There was Scyld Fearsome, scourge of many tribes, a wrecker of mead benches, rampaging among foes. This terror of the hall troops had come far. A foundling to start with, he would flourish later on, as his powers waxed and his worth was proved. In the end, each clan on the outlying coasts, beyond the Whale Road, had to yield to him and begin to pay tribute. That was one good king. Afterwards, a boy child was born to Scyld, a cub in the yard, a comfort sent by God to that nation. He knew what they had told, the long times and troubles they'd come through without a leader. So the Lord of Life, the glorious Almighty, made this man renowned. Scyld had fathered a famous son, Beowulf, whose name was known through the north. And a young prince must be prudent like that, giving freely while his father lives, so that afterwards, in age, when fighting starts steadfast, companions will stand by him and hold the line. Behavior that's admired is the path to power among people everywhere. Scyld was still thriving when his time came, and he crossed over into the Lord's keeping. Lines 301 to 600. The building of Heorot and Grendel's attack. Scyld's stronghold passed to Beowulf, the ring-giver's heir, who ruled long and well, bringing peace to the land. Through his reign, the clans flourished, and the realm saw days of great splendor. Then Beowulf's son, the mighty Halfdan, held sway, a brave and noble lord of warriors. He fathered 4 children, known far and wide: Heorogar Hrothgar, Halgar the Good, and a daughter who wed Onela of the Swedes. Hrothgar rose to great power and glory, building Heorot, a grand mead hall, towering high with its gilded roof, where warriors gathered, feasting and sharing tales. But their joy was short-lived, for envy brewed in the dark marshlands where Grendel stirred. The demon, a descendant of Cain's line, hated the sound of laughter and songs. Night after night, he prowled the hall, killing warriors and spreading fear. For 12 long winters, Heorot stood cursed, its walls stained with sorrow and death. Hrothgar mourned, powerless to defeat the fiend. The Danes prayed for deliverance, but their pleas went unanswered as Grendel's terror grew. The kingdom's joy faded, replaced by dread. Lines 601 to 900. Beowulf's arrival. Then news of Grendel's rampage reached the land of the Geats, where Hygelac's thane, Beowulf, the mightiest man of valor, resolved to cross the Swan's Road, the sea, and aid the troubled Danes in their despair. He ordered a seaworthy vessel prepared, chose 14 warriors to accompany him, and sailed swiftly across the wave-tossed ocean to reach the hall of Hrothgar, the ring-giver. the Danish coast guard hailed the strangers, demanding their purpose and their lord's allegiance. Beowulf replied bold and forthright, explaining his intent to battle the fiend and win renown for himself and his king. The coast guard, convinced of their noble course, escorted them to Heorot, the mighty hall, where Hrothgar awaited with sorrowful heart. The Geats were warmly received, their courage praised, and feasting commenced amidst the shadow of fear. Unferth, a jealous Dane, challenged Beowulf's fame, mocking his past deeds and his might in battle. But Beowulf, steadfast and unshaken, recounted his victories with calm resolve, proving his worth and silencing his doubter. That night, as the hall settled in slumber, Beowulf lay awake, prepared for the fight. He pledged to confront Grendel without a blade, relying on his strength and the will of fate. Lines 901 to 1200. The battle with Grendel. Grendel came stalking, hating mankind, driven to Heorot by his rage and hunger. The door burst open with a resounding crash, and the fiend stepped into the hall of warriors. His eyes burned with malice as he surveyed the room, snatching a sleeping warrior and devouring him whole. But Beowulf, watching and waiting, leapt into action, gripping Grendel's arm with unyielding strength. The monster roared in pain and surprise, struggling to free himself from Beowulf's grasp. The hall shook with the ferocity of their battle. Benches overturned, and walls groaned under the strain. Beowulf held fast, his grip unbreakable, as Grendel's flesh tore and his sinews snapped. The fiend, mortally wounded, fled into the night, leaving his arm behind as a gruesome trophy. The warriors rejoiced at Beowulf's victory, praising his strength and courage in song and feast. Grendel's arm was hung high in Heorot, a symbol of triumph over darkness and despair. Hrothgar, filled with gratitude, bestowed rich gifts upon Beowulf and his loyal men, honoring their deeds and celebrating their valor. But the shadow of vengeance lingered still, for Grendel's mother brooded in her lair. Lines 1201 to 1500. Grendel's mother strikes. Grendel's mother, fierce and vengeful, sought to avenge her son's defeat. She rose from her watery lair, a mere beneath darkened cliffs, and crept towards Heorot under the cover of night. Her rage burned bright as she burst into the hall, seizing a warrior and Hrothgar's dearest advisor. The blooded victim she carried back, disappearing into the depths of the moor. Hrothgar, stricken with grief and fear, called upon Beowulf once again. He recounted tales of the mere, accursed place where no traveller dared tread. The Geat hero pledged to seek the fiend, to rid the Danes of this new threat. Clad in mail and bearing affronting, a fabled blade he set forth, descending into the dark, mist-shrouded waters. The struggle was fierce beneath the waves. Grendel's mother attacked with claws and might, but Beowulf, unyielding, struck back. Grunting failed, shattering in the fray, yet he spied a giant's blade on the lair's wall. With this weapon, forged by an ancient hand, he delivered the killing blow, beheading the she-fiend and severing Grendel's corpse. Lines 1501 to 1800. Victory and rewards. Emerging victorious, Beowulf brought forth the grisly trophies, Grendel's head and the hilt of the ancient sword. The Danes rejoiced, their sorrow lifted, as Hrothgar praised the hero's unmatched bravery. Rich rewards were bestowed upon Beowulf, gold, treasures, and eternal glory. The Geats sailed home triumphant, Beowulf recounting his deeds to Hygelac, earning the respect and admiration of his people. Lines 1801 to 2400. Beowulf's later years. The Geat hero ascended the throne, ruling wisely and justly for 50 winters. Yet fate would not leave him in peace. For a dragon awoke, guarding its hoard of gold. The beast ravaged the Geatish lands, spewing fire and destruction. Beowulf, though aged, vowed to protect his realm, gathering his warriors for one final battle. In the dragon's lair, the clash began. Beowulf struck boldly, but his sword broke. The beast's fiery breath scorched all in its path. Wiglaf, a loyal thane, stood firm, joining his king in the desperate fight. Together they slew the dragon, but Beowulf was mortally wounded. Lines 24 or 01 to the end. Beowulf's death and legacy. Beowulf's dying wish was to see the treasure, a symbol of his people's prosperity. Wiglaf honored his request, bringing the hoard to his beloved lord. The Geat king passed away, mourned deeply. His body was burned upon a pyre, the smoke rising to the heavens. A barrow was raised in his honor, a beacon for sailors, a testament to greatness. Thus ends the tale of Beowulf, a hero whose deeds will never be forgotten. Thank you for joining us on this epic journey through Beowulf. We hope you've been inspired by the bravery and adventures of the hero who stood against Grendel, his mother, and the dragon. If you enjoyed this, share it with your friends and fellow adventurers to help spread the love for Viking lore. Be sure to check out the description below for links to our Etsy store, where you can find unique Viking adventure gifts and explore our affiliate links to discover even more treasures. Your support means the world to us and helps keep the spirit of adventure alive. Until next time.